I'm joined now by Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat from New Jersey. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Your first order of business, at least what we're hearing from the Senate, is to make changes to Senate rules, including the filibuster. Why?
Well, the filibuster was a tool created originally for the protection of the minority. It has now become a weapon to be used against the interests, I think, of the American people. And so the question really is, how do you amend the rules to ensure that the filibuster isn't used simply as a political weapon, but protection of the minority, but having the minority both earn it and own it? Meaning that, right now, I often, as I was traveling the country as the Senate Democratic Campaign Committee chair, was told, why don't you get them to actually get up like Mr. Smith goes to Washington and filibuster? Well, the rules don't require that. I think there should be a rules change that say, if you want to filibuster, you're going to have to stand on the floor, you're going to have to make the arguments, you're going to have to earn it, and you're going to have to own what you're doing. And I think that would change the dynamics of how many times people would think about using the filibuster in an inappropriate way.
I'm sure you've heard what Mitch McConnell says. He says this is a power grab by the Democrats. He wrote an op-ed piece in the Washington Post this morning. Let me read you just a little bit of it. Any rule change aimed at making it easier for one party to force legislation through the Senate with only a slim partisan majority would undermine the Senate's unique role as a moderating influence and put a permanent end to bipartisanship. What's your response to that?
Well, Mitch McConnell, who has said that his #1 priority for this country is to make Barack Obama a one-term president, I think that's about as partisan as it makes it. I thought that our #1 priority was about growing the economy, creating jobs, and moving this country forward to greater prosperity, not making Barack Obama a one-term president. So
well,
I think
one of the key differences that they have with you in terms of prosperity is health care.
Yeah.
And they're going after health care. Now, obviously, whatever they do in the House, there's a firewall in the Senate. But do you see some changes coming to the health care bill? Healthcare law.
Look, I think, first of all, let me just quickly say on the filibuster, I think Americans understand that majority rules. That's the last time everybody in the classroom learned that majority rules, and I don't understand how 53 votes doesn't create a majority. Now, they've made everything a 60-vote requirement. Nowhere in the Constitution does that say that that's necessary. So I think that's the response to that.
But were you okay with that when you had the bigger majority?
Well, the reality is we lived with the rules as they existed. A new Congress presents the opportunity, and this has historically been done several times, to have the rules set for that Congress. That's why we have a new Congress every 2 years. And on health care, look, I don't know what the Republicans want to do. Do they want to take away the closing of the donut hole for senior citizens that's finally getting closed?
What about the mandate? Is that one of the most likely areas that we could see change? Do they want to ensure that there is health care for everybody or only health care for those who can afford it? The mandate is what makes it possible at the end of the day to have a broad enough universe of coverage and individuals in the system that makes it affordable for everybody, and that's why we have subsidies for people. Do they want to cut out the subsidies for families and small businesses? Do they want to take out pre-existing conditions and the ability to ensure that no one, because they have a heart ailment or a child born at birth with a defect, can no longer be denied insurance? Are those things they want to change? We look forward to see what the changes they want. Senator Menendez, what a pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you so much for coming in.
All right.
We really appreciate it.